Recently when I recorded this video tutorial, this loose floral painting, I had a lot of people commenting about the face that appeared on the left-hand side of the painting as I was creating it. And I didn't see it at all actually during the painting process. I'm so focused on the focal point and on making the painting flow around that focal point that I really wasn't thinking about the amazing and interesting things that are happening in the background of the painting. I do, now that it's finished, see that face. It does look like kind of a bearded face here on the left hand side, and it doesn't really bother me. It's kind of part of the magic to me of that interesting watercolor and how things happen that you just are unexpected. And I know also that if I were to frame this, you know, the frame would come up and crop a little bit of this out. It would crop maybe some of this part of the painting out. And as those things happen, the strength of this dominant corner would be diminished somewhat. So, you know, I probably, personally, I'm happy with the painting, and I probably wouldn't go and start to try to adjust to make that face disappear, because I'm really not feeling it as being disturbing in any way. But at the same time, I thought, since so many of you commented on it, and because these moments happen where we have things emerge out of our loose washes that maybe are strong and dominant, that we could just talk about how to deal with that too dominant area in your painting if it is happening. We don't want to lose the beauty of this intuitive wash, and we also don't want to wash away or even soften too much over here. I do like the patterns that are created by the blooms that are happening here in the painting, but I can, at the very least, push some of that to the back of the painting, you know, just by using a glaze to kind of blend and glaze over that area there. And when I glaze over that area, it will just diminish any disturbing effects that you might be feeling from that face if it is bothering you. So I've mixed up a little puddle in my palette here, the same basic blue violet that I used originally, just going into my palette and taking from those original colors. And I'm going to keep it fairly fluid and juicy here in my palette. I'm using a bigger kind of a mop style brush. This is an Escoda Aquario number 12. And I'm just going to start right here very gently around the flower and just go over this part of the painting. I haven't even taped my paper down. I know I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes helping to kind of wash that man away a little bit. The phthalo yellow green spatter is actually kind of floating up. I'm using a really light touch right now because I don't want to really blur anything at this point. I don't want to move the colors underneath. So I'm just washing over that thin glaze of the blue violet. And you can see it's not disappearing yet. Be patient. We're not done. I don't want to change the painting in a dramatic way. That's not my goal here. So that's why I'm using a juicy amount of pigment, letting it flow in a transparent way. So that's my preparatory step, just layering that thin glaze of the blue violet. I could have chosen even the yellow green if I'd wanted to not just to change the painting or the edges here, but I could have used a yellow green to actually cool off that side of the painting, or warm up that side of the painting with that cool yellow green. So, but I like the colors that I have there, so I'm not changing the colors so much as just preparing this wash. And then because now we've had a few minutes with this thin glaze soaking in, that means that if I decided that this hard edge that was there making that eye was bothering me, now is a really good time to soften that edge. The paper has absorbed some of that moisture, so the pigment that's already there from my previous painting is amenable to being adjusted. So adding a little bit of, just a little bit of brushing back and forth, just softened that eye shape right away. And it's gone. Just because I'm a fusser, I'm adding a little bit of Cobalt Violet Deep. Actually, I think I want Manganese Violet. I'm grabbing the wrong one. Yeah, see, the manganese has a little more opacity, so I can spatter it on and it just kind of stands out as a more of a red violet. The Cobalt Violet tends to be a bit more transparent, and that's kind of a pretty little addition. And now I'm just going to let it, set it aside and let it dry. I still have my watermarks, but I have lost that disturbing face, the thing that was a distraction from my flowers. I've kept the interesting complexity of layers without losing any of that beauty, without getting worried and scrubbing or trying to blot and lift. Just that thin glaze of color over top sent those other colors to the background and gave me the opportunity to soften hard edges that were creating those kind of face-like portions of the painting.